All right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for tonight's post-match press conference, joined first by Austin FC head coach Nico Estévez. We have some media here in the room with us, as well as some on Zoom. We'll start with those who made the trip out. Which one of you guys wants to take us away?
I'll start.
Go for it.
Nico, obviously, first of all, can you speak to what this occasion was and just what you thought of the performance?
I think it is not easy to have the chance to play in the inaugural day of an stadium. It's not easy. Here in MLS, there is a lot of new stadiums coming up in the last years, and I think it could be more frequent. But I feel like, as you could see, the environment and the atmosphere and everything for this game, it was big. I think we felt it, and I think the players from the initial whistle went after the game.
And then on the one hand, the last two matches you've gone toe to toe with two of the historically best teams in the league over the last few years. Also, this is another game that you guys have dropped points from a winning position. So how do you balance the encouragement of the draw, but also knowing that if with a little bit more secure on the set piece, you guys could have had 3 points?
Well, I think this the goal could come in a set piece. It could come one of the shots that they had. At the end, we knew that we're gonna suffer. But think about the schedule that we're having. We're playing LFC that didn't concede a goal, didn't lose a game. Now they're winning 4-0 in 30 minutes. I don't know if the score is the same or is bigger, but in 30 minutes against Orlando, they're winning 4-0. We play against Miami, 5 now. Then against Miami, that it has Messi, right? Is the actual champions of the MLS. We can forget that. They play in their stadium, new brand stadium, packed with a lot of things going on around the team this week. And the thing that you have to ask your team and your players is to feel proud about the performance. And I think if we look at today, we feel proud about our performance. We had moments, we had a plan, we have an idea, and maybe it's not good to say, but David Beckham just came to the locker room, asked one of our staff that please can you call the coach to come here to congratulate about the game that we play, the game that we did, the plan that we set up against them, and that he really enjoyed, and he saw a team that knew what to do against his team, and he says a lot about David and his class, but also about us. For us, the learning experience for this, we had the 3-1, we had it, and these moments is the ones that, in the moment that we in these games are able to capitalize those chances, is the moment that the team is gonna go up and then make and win games, because we're very close to what we want to be as a team and what Austin FC and his fans deserve.
Yeah, I want to hear a little bit more about the attacking in particular. You were talking about thinking that there were opportunities to do that in the midweek press conference. Zuni seems like he's been much more involved the last couple of games. What is it that you're implementing? What is it that you're changing about the offense that is manifesting in what we're seeing?
Well, I think first of all, depending on the opponent, we do some tweaks. We were a little bit more playing in behind today because they were man marking and following our players. Then we create kind of like a trap, and they're try to bring one of or two of the center backs, or one fullback and one center back, down with our players coming down, and leave 2 players high to run in behind. And I think it worked very well. And it was more just the detail in the last action on create a better goal scoring opportunity. The other thing that we did is I think we set up a good defensive plan that we provoke a lot of turnovers at the beginning of the game, and we got some quick transitions. We had the Facu post also, and a couple of the situations. And I think one of the things that we are involved in more is more dynamic movements from the players up top, where it's not there staying in their positions. They have more mobility. They have create more chaos a little bit in the opponent. And they're sometimes, if the defender doesn't follow him, they're free, and then we can play to them. And if follow him, we can play to the second runner. No? I think we are understanding better what we need to be more fluid in the offensive. And I think in the last two games, we've shown like we can be a very dangerous team.
Then 40 seconds into the match, Ayala steps on Rivera's foot. It looks like a clear penalty. Just wondering if that happens in, say, the 37th minute of a game against Colorado or SKC. Do you think that gets called?
I mean, I haven't watched the replay. For what our analyst is telling me is a very clear penalty, but I haven't watched yet. You know, when you play against these teams, you know, you always have to play with this situation. I think the referee did a really good job in the game. Chapman is an amazing referee for me. For me, his personality and the way that he handled difficult situations and the way that he you know, embraced the pressure, and he does a really good job on that. But I think it's a quick action. And then I think the VR has more time to review it, and then I think you know, it could be for what they say it is a clear contact, and it should be a PK. But I don't think it's the referee. It's, I think, more the VAR that has to call the. This is what I was telling the fourth official. I said it's difficult for the referee because it's a quick play, but a quick action. But I think the VAR should call the referee to watch him and make, and after maybe he said it's no penalty, but I think he should have the chance to do it.
Coach, midweek I was asking you what are some ways that you could hurt this team. On the first goal we saw from set piece chance, the goalkeeper Austin, and the second one it was a counter attack. Are those some things that you recognize midweek building into this match that were ways that you could hurt this team?
Yeah, we specifically train both of those. We knew because they attack with a lot of players. We train how to counterattack in after a corner kick or a free kick. Then you could see like you have two players going forward, two players going a mid height, and then Brad can have a decision on making that, or the player that gets the ball can have a decision where, you know, you can play the long or you can play in the mid height. And I think the guys did a really good job on that. And credit to that, I told them, you know, I think congratulations on believing that the plan it was going to work. And offensively, I think we just missed to have more time the ball, but it's difficult. They press man to man. They create a chaos moments. It's difficult to sustain the rhythm because they are also really good when they have the ball, and you have to defend for a long time of periods. And these make you get tired. And I understand the difficulty of this type of games, but I think we're maturing in the right direction where this team will be able to find ways to manage better those moments.
Also, versus RSL, you sent Vito off. John Bell came on for him. He got the goal. In this game, John Bell was sent off. Vito came in for him. He got the goal. If you could just tell us kind of maybe what are some things that you told Vito after this game. I mean, there's a big goal for him to get, and what was the decision that went into making that change?
Well, we just start making an internal competition to see who score more goals, you know. No, I mean, to be honest, and I said the other day, as everyone is getting healthy, it's gonna be really difficult to do, you know, the starting 11 because everyone is pushing, everyone is showing the quality. Jayden show again his speed, his threat in behind the opponent backline. And even Sabo, when he came in, he helped a lot the team. CJ and Coleman, you know, all the players that came in. JB when he came in, they on Wednesday after the training on Wednesday, JB felt some soreness in his hamstring, and he's fine. You know, you could see him playing. But thinking on the amount of games that we have in the month of April, we felt like maybe it was a good opportunity for Vito to come. Also, we felt for what we were looking for in attack. Vito could provide a lot of good runs as he did, and we felt like this game also he's an important player that in special games he show up. You know, he scored last year against LFC when we play away in a corner kick, and then we knew that these challenges for where he comes from and how the culture and how they live these moments in these games. We felt like we needed that type of character also into the team.
I'll see if Colby or Moises, anything from you guys?
Yeah, like it's I don't know, Moises had his hand up, so you can go ahead if you.
Yeah, we'll go Moises, then Kobe.
Uh, quick thing on the positioning of Rosales. One of the things that you've received criticism for has been, why are you playing Joseph Rosales here? We're used to seeing him played in this other position. How do you feel tonight acts as a statement for why you have chosen to play Joseph in the ways that you've played him since he's joined the club?
I mean, the credit is for Joseph because he's every game he's getting better and better, he's getting confidence, he's getting like the personality of a player that is important for the team. And I think with Joseph, it doesn't matter where you put him, he's gonna do well. Then credit to him. For us is, of course, we identify things, qualities that he has that can fit in different positions for him. We as a staff, as always, take the risk to make those decisions. When it doesn't work, we get criticized, and when it work, like we get some credit on that. But also big credit to Joseph to adapt really well to that position and feel like he's playing his entire life in that position.
How do you feel tonight and the draw against LAFC speak to Austin being a true three competition club this season for Open Cup, Leagues Cup, and MLS Cup? How do you think the vibes are headed toward the beginning of Open Cup competition, the World Cup break, and a pretty punishing second half of 2026?
Well, we just focus in the next game, and I think is what I told the guys. I think we're showing in the last two games the standards of this team, and then from there is just getting better. Try to believe in the process that we are building and how we can play, and I think everyone is believing on what we are doing, and you can see, and the reward is gonna come. And now it's one game at a time. We have to learn from what happened last year in the month of May when we had the Open Cup coming up, and now in April we're going to have those games, and I think it's important that we learn from that and we show this level of the way that we play every game.
Kobe?
Hey Nico, do you think this was Mirto's best game with the club?
I think he played very well against LFC, and then I think last year he had some really good games. Maybe what we're finding is more consistency, more minutes throughout the game. Maybe last year he had moments in the games, in a really good first half, and then maybe couldn't be as consistent. I think we're finding ways to find him better. Is also on us that we couldn't get that on last year or on me. But I think his commitment is there. I think the willingness that he puts every single game is there, and I think he's learning more about the league and feeling more comfortable. And we can forget that we had Svatok, we had Rosales, we had Uzuni, and Facundo coming from Europe, And in the case of Mirto and Rosales, they play 80 minutes, and Mirto played 90 and 83 or 34 minutes the other day, and Rosales played 76 minutes, And then I think the effort that they put today wasn't easy. We had all these internationals coming from Europe. That is not easy to come here and perform the way they did.
Nico, you put yourself. How did Nico Dubersarski embrace this challenge? He's going up against a player that, of course, as an Argentine, he's a hero of his, an idol of his, but he defended Messi in moments very well. How much do you appreciate how he took over the challenge tonight?
Well, I think the first question I asked him during this week is, if you have to tackle Messi, would you do it? And he said, yeah, of course, And I think my experience and when I play and what I've seen in the league is when any Argentina is in the other team playing against Messi, it's kind of like they want to show something to him, something to every Argentinian that is watching this game, because probably half of Argentina is watching Messi's games, and then I think he is a good moment to every of them to show that they're really good players, and they only, don't talk about Messi. They can talk about him or himself. And I think he embraced it very well, and he had a really good game. And he's a young player. I think the club did a really good, like bringing a player like him, young. And we just had to be patient last year. And I think he's getting the reward of all the hard work he did last year.
Like just looking at the stats, possession wise, shots wise, Miami dominated. I'm just wondering, was there kind of strategically a kind of defensive posture to absorb, or is that just kind of the game state? Is that just kind of ascribing to their talent?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we look at and probably if we sometimes I like to see the stats like from, for example, from the minute 0 to 15, 15 to 30, because probably that amount it changed around the 60th minute. When we scored the second goal, it was the moment that they had to go out for the game, and also it was the moment that we were more tired. And they just brought Berterame, they brought Luis Suarez, and they just brought, forwards, and then Falcone ended up at the end of the day, this can happen. And more when Miami is a team that when they have to chase the game, it's something that it's natural for them, and they go after. And in their stadium, in the moment that they were playing today, we knew that we were going to have that moment. Ideally, we controlled that better in the last minutes, but we will have to keep growing and maturing as a team to do better.
I hate that I have to keep asking about injuries, but what's going on with Torres? And then did Dessler have some sort of setback?
No, I mean, the thing with Torres is he had a kind of like a movement in during the first half that he extended his leg, and it felt like a little bit of like a contraction there. Then we have to do test. He continued playing, and this is a good signal. And then at halftime, we decided not to take a risk, because as the game goes, this can get sore and sore and sore, and then it can end in a big injury. And then we didn't want to have that. Usually, that doctor, depending what it is, we don't know, but it's not that severe than other injuries. The thing with Mikel is like Rosales gas out, he asked for the sub. And then we felt like Kolmanic could bring good energy also in set pieces. If we had to take set pieces, we needed someone to cross those balls. And I think he did a really good job and had a really good play at the end where we could also kind of score a goal. But this was the decision. No, Mikel is doing better every game, every week. Sorry.
Coach, versus LAFC, you had sort of the same system that you played today. Are you moving forward? Are you looking to use this double striker system a bit more? I mean, we've seen probably the best of Mirko with this system. Do you like it? Do you like what you see?
Yeah, and this is why we did it. We did against LFC, thinking on us, thinking on our strength, thinking that Brandon Vasquez will come soon also, and knowing that we learned last year how to do with two forwards. The only problem is Brandon got injured, and I think it's a good way to do it. It's a good way for the qualities that our forwards have. It's like they are more dynamic and mobile than people think. Like Brandon, and is a very it's not like just playing in central. He likes to run in behind. He likes to create a space. He likes to drop to get the ball in low positions to bounce. Then I think that it makes more difficult for the opponents to stop us.
Hey, Coach, looks like in the last 10 minutes, offense really struggled to keep up with what Miami was throwing at you guys. What do you think that your team could have done just a bit better in those last 10 minutes where they didn't have to absorb so much?
Yeah, I think for me, I think we could go to a 5-3-2, but we didn't have the personnel to go. And then I think when Falcon was there, they left only two players down, or one sometimes. And then I think with three in the middle, we could cover. They just had one player wide in each side. I think the middle we could protect a little bit, and then with the two we could be more pressure to the center backs. But I'll have to analyze something that we talk on the bench, but we had to stick with that, and sometimes it's suffer there. And also when we concede the second goal, we and at the end we not at the end in the last 10 minutes, but we were pushing and trying to get the third goal. But unluckily, like that cross, that Christian touch, I think Mirto and him were very close to score that goal, and that could be nice, to do.
The pitch, the locker rooms, were there any, did the players complain about any issues with
No,
the
I
stadiums?
think they did a really good job. I mean, I think we have to congratulate here Miami, their ownership and the front office to build a new stadium. I think anytime an MLS team builds a new brand stadium is something that is huge for the league, is huge for the country. But I also can't forget about our fans. We have 300 or 400 or 500 fans there. We went after the game to thank them. We feel like every single time they're backing us up. I think we're giving them a lot of hope. I think we're giving them a lot of joy moments, and then now we just have to bring wins to reward them for the effort that they make every game.
Anything else from you guys on the Zoom before we wrap with Nico?
All good. Congratulations, Coach.
Colby?
Yeah, I guess just speak to the collective effort, like against Messi. I think like you're never going to stop him completely, but I think you contained him really well. Just what did you do well team wise against him?
Well, we had a plan. We had a plan defensively. We had a plan always giving a +1 against him. More going to when he goes to his left side, just letting him go to his right side and covering that space. I think everyone did a great effort because we talk. It doesn't matter who is there, but someone has to be there. We saw sometimes Christian Ramirez, sometimes Silla when it was there, sometimes Mirto, sometimes Facu, sometimes Nelson, sometimes Rosales, then always helping one to the central midfielder in creating that +1. And then even that, he scored the first goal, and we train. We say like you cannot always forget about him, that he's gonna attack the box, and this is why he's the best player in history, and this is why he show every single time, and I think collectively we did an amazing job to reduce the opportunities that he could have.
Thank you.
All right, we'll wrap Nico's section there. Back in just a moment with Jayden Nelson.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Thanks for waiting. Joined now by Austin FC winger Jayden Nelson. We can again start with those of y'all in the room.
Jayden, it's another game now, back-to-back games where you guys have gone, and drawn two of the top teams in the league with some of the top players in this league. What does that do for the confidence? But also knowing that you guys, did eventually drop points from a winning position, so it's not as good as it could have been, but you guys are right there.
Yeah, first off, we're a bit frustrated, because I think against LAFC we had a good game. I think we could have won, and today's it's a similar thing where they tied it and it was difficult for us to get another goal or to really kill the game. But yeah, at the end of the day, yes, those are two of the top teams in the league, so we just have to continue and keep building on this, and the results will come because you can see that each game we're getting better. So it's hats off to us, and we just need to keep working.
And then how did you guys maintain a focus on what y'all needed to do, given obviously big game, new stadium, greatest player of all times on the pitch against you, but you guys, obviously kept to a game plan that worked for a lot of the match.
Yeah, it's all noise at the end of the day. When the whistle blows, it's 11v11 and the best team wins, and at the end of the day, we knew that they had some weaknesses. Yes, they do have the best player in the world on the pitch, but we're able to exploit their weaknesses tonight, and you can see that in the game. We just needed to be a bit more calm and clinical in the final third, and we could have walked out of here with 3 points.
Nico was talking about just with the attack about trying to get more dynamic motion from the players up top, and just wondering just kind of what things has he been teaching, what has he been translating that's been in this last few weeks that's made a difference.
You know, it's still a new team, you know, a lot of new different personnel like me, and you know, we're still trying to build connections, you know, with each other, and yeah, you can see that it's building each game, and yeah, we're just getting better, you know, and it will come, you know, we can see that there's more personality out there on the pitch, and yeah, it's going to be exciting for us to see throughout the season.
And was there a plan for you to come in like 60th minute or something before the Torres injury? Was there any talk about kind of how many minutes would go tonight?
No, not necessarily, but you know, I knew I was gonna come on, and I knew I was gonna have to make an impact, and yeah, that's what I was able to do tonight.
Speaking of the game that you had today, Joseph, sorry, speaking of the game that you had today, in the recent Canada camp, you were left off, but not because of anything negative. Coach Jesse Marsh mentioned that he wanted you to get to the best shape. Do you feel like after performances like today, you get closer to that World Cup roster where you want to be at?
Yeah, of course. You know, I have to take it game by game, and for me, there's no memory in football, so like it doesn't really matter what I do today. It's what I do the next game and the next game after that. So I just have to keep pushing and have performances like this and be able to make an impact, so I could be on the roster.
And also, whenever you were one-on-one against St. Clair, what was going through your mind? I mean, you sent him the wrong way, and your shot went, I think it kissed off of the post. So what was going through your mind?
You know, yeah, I've been in camps with him many times, so I know his tendencies, but he likes to kind of push you to where he wants you to go. So I shot it earlier than I wanted to, and yeah, I just sent him the next way. But yeah, hats off to him. He's a great goalie. He's the reason why. There's a reason why he won goalie of the year last year. So it's it's just unlucky for him. Thank you.
Folks on the Zoom, Colby, your hands up.
Hey, Jayden.
Hello.
What just the collective effort on Messi tonight was really good. Just what was the key to that from your perspective defensively?
Yeah, we just had a game plan. You know, it's the best player in the world. You know, we all know this, and we have to double, keep him off his left foot, things like that. So yeah, it was just an emphasis on, trying to not get him on the ball. But I think we did a pretty good job today, but we're just not able to get the 3 points today.
And Mirto, I thought Mirto had a really strong game. What did you see out of him? He seemed pretty relaxed tonight.
I think he's rolling off a good confidence right now. You can see it from the LAFC game where he wants to make an impact, and it's not even just attacking. Like he's one of the guys that's tracking back, and he's a DP, so it's he's the one that's making runs that guys don't want to make don't want to make on the pitch. So it's nice to see that, and you don't really get that from all your DPs in the league. So yeah, it's a great example of what we all can be doing.
Thank you.
Jayden, the odds makers were not thinking favorably about you guys either for this game or for the LAFC game. And it feels like you guys have pretty decisively proven a lot of people wrong about expectations, about what you're capable of. Knowing that this season is going to be a long haul, we got a World Cup break in the middle of it. You guys are in 3 different competitions where the league and these cups are going to be very competitive, and you've also got a very competitive locker room, everybody competing for their spots. What can you tell us about the vibes in the locker room, the feeling that you've got about these guys going the long haul? You've been in these multiple competition years on very competitive rosters. How does everything feel from your perspective in ways that, we may be able to assume, but we can't know without being in the locker room like you are?
What you started with, everyone's counting us out, and we're rolling off of that. It's all noise at the end of the day. When the whistle blows, we still have to compete, and the best team wins at the end of the day. And for us, it's just to continue and to compete and know that, from last year, I think we wanted to get more points at home, and that's something that we need to build off of. So that's it. We're looking towards LA Galaxy and try to get 3 points there.
Yeah, snag one more and then we'll.
Yeah, Jayden, I know it's been a process for you to get up to a point of potentially being able to go 90 minutes. This club has dealt with a lot of injuries. How has that been kind of just an unfortunate, maybe frustrating, element to this early season? And what can you say about just how everybody's like trying to, keep a suitable amount of players available and make sure everybody gets healthy?
Yeah, it's difficult, and it's always frustrating when, someone is not able to play. We have Owen that's sitting out, that's a great player and a great asset to this team. And, we want those guys playing, so it's gonna take time, but you can see like Christian Ramirez, he's came in and be able to make an impact. And yeah, we just need guys to be ready when their name is called. That's it. So yes, it's frustrating, but we could build off of that. No problem.
All right, we'll wrap there to get us to the team bus. Thanks, Jayden, for joining us.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
all for making the trip.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, on the Zoom.